What's up, YouTube? Coming at you today with a collection video. It's a small but well-loved collection of 4 knives that are all made in Sweden. And thought I would go through each one here and just talk about them a little bit. When I think of products made in Sweden, whether it's knives or whatever, I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind is quality and value. And when it comes to value, I don't know if there's a better knife on the market than Mora. And Mora makes just absolutely high quality knives, and the prices on them are just outrageously low for the quality that you get. The Mora carving knife here is about a $20 knife. This is the 120 Mora, and the sheath sucks. It's made for a bunch of different knives. All to fit one sheath, but you know, it functions as a sheath. A lot of carving knives don't come with anything, and you wouldn't even be able to put them in your pack and take them into the woods. So with these, you can heat them up a little bit and get better retention, and stick your knife down in there pretty well and wiggle it. And the best thing I've found is when it's in there nice and tight is just as you're getting it out, don't just pull, just go back and forth wiggling, and it'll pop right out of there controlled. But it's a very nice knife. I thought I would be able to do a lot more carving with this, but I'm not like a chip carver. I prefer to do walking sticks, spoons, things that you would use. And I have all the respect in the world for chip carvers and people that can carve little figurines and stuff, but you know, this for me is just not getting used as much. And I'll tell you what, it's stainless, I believe, the 120. And the Mora that I'll show you next is my Triflex Bushcraft. And this knife is Triflex steel, which is a Mora signature thing. And it's 2 kinds of steels tempered differently so that you have a nice hard edge and a softer spine. So it's layered, it's laminated, and they therefore call it the Triflex. The name implies obviously the spine being a little more flexible and not so brittle. But you can see this knife is well used, and might be my favorite carving knife. This one's a Scandi grind, Triflex steel, rubber, neoprene type handle, not neoprene but like rubber, whatever they call that nice, Kraton rubber is the word I was looking for. And it's just absolutely comfortable in the hand, great ergos, every which way you want to hold it. You know, excellent design. But one thing I was surprised when I got the carving knife, it's the same thickness as the Mora Triflex. And I kind of thought this is my first carving knife, and a lot of them, you know, are not designed like this. They're short blades, about this long, and they have a V edge, not a Scandi edge. But with the price of the Moras, I wanted to go with a Mora. And anyway, I was just kind of surprised that it's so similar to this one, being the same thickness. There's not much that I can do with this with what I do versus this. Like I said, I'm not carving figurines, so this one just doesn't see as much use because of that. And also, this steel does not hold up as well, I'll tell you that for sure, as the Triflex. Now, the Triflex is in the like $30 range. It's a little bit more than some of the Moras. Moras, guys, start at like 10 or 12 bucks, and they'll cut wood better than any V-edge you've ever seen. In my opinion, a full convex grind is the best for cutting wood, and then you have your Scandis, then you have probably a full flat grind would be third, and this is just my opinion, guys, but I don't have any full convex yet. I've got one little friction folder forward, but anyway, this is just absolutely one of my go-to knives. So then the sheath is just awesome. It's just a dangler style sheath that'll move. You can actually remove the belt loop if you're keeping the sheath in a backpack or something, and easy to just tie a lanyard on there real quickly. And then I've got a Ranger band just to hold the end of it, and then I can wear it around my neck, which is my preferred method of carry for my secondary smaller knife when I'm in the woods. I'll have a larger knife, and then I'll have a smaller knife. But it's a great sheath. It's not Kydex, but similar. You know, it has a drain hole. If you can make that out, there you go. and it has room to breathe. It clicks in. Sure you can hear that, but it has room to wiggle in there, so if there's a lot of ice, if your knife's wet and you get some ice, it's going to be alright. But that is a high carbon steel. I'm sure you noticed the patina on the blade. So then I have next the ICA JOF 7, JOF 7. This is another Swedish knife. This one has a more traditional leather sheath. It's actually more of a Western style sheath with a just single loop, no dangler, and it's really sort of a more Western style design for what ICA builds. And this one is a hollow grind with a V-edge, but it's designed for hunting. It's a skinner, obviously, so that's one of the preferred grinds for skinning knives. This has Babinga wood handles, which are just absolutely beautiful. It's a South African hardwood. It's full tang construction, although they used only one piece of wood, which is pretty cool. And you know, the tang does run all the way down through. You can see on the back there, nice and thickly all the way down. So this one is stainless Sandvik, which is a really common steel used in a lot of Swedish knives. And I'm not a big hunter anymore. I've hunted in the past, but this knife has awesome ergonomics, and you know, this little place up here to grab for controlled work, controlled cuts when skinning. You see a lot of this, and the handles are just awesome. It has the hand checkering done all over. Like you would see on a nice pistol grip. Really nice work. And you know, a lot of the comments you read when you see the online reviews, they just say how warm the handle is. And wood is one of those things, guys, that is still used a lot on knives where it's really cold, because the wood stays sort of warm in your hand, is the comment you see a lot. It's just nice when it's cold out. Not my favorite handle material as far as toughness, but definitely a sweet knife, and all you would really need in a sheath. It's actually even got a little drain hole on this, if you see where they just cut part of the liner of the leather out. So it's got a drain hole as well. They really have to consider that when you're in somewhere with such extreme weather conditions from time to time. So this is probably my favorite Swedish knife, although it's not necessarily my most used. I do use it a lot. This is a sheath that I made for it, and it's a leather sheath with paracord gutted for the ties, and a couple Chicago screws, and that was that. And then I put a cinch on here, a couple Celtic button knots on there, and then extra piece of leather with a couple pieces of hole in it, and it's got decent retention. Wouldn't want to wear it around my neck upside down or anything, but yeah, it's really sweet. So this knife is also Sandvik stainless. For some reason, Karisawando likes putting a V-edge on their Scandi grinds. Probably they think us Americans want that, but it's a bear getting it off of there. But I've taken this one down to a Scandi convexed, because I did it on sandpaper. It's kind of rounded off. You can see the shoulders kind of gone, and the little roundness when I reflect the light up and down on there, nice and smooth and rounded. But so this is their boar survival knife, and this one has the curly birch handles, which are just beautiful, grain going everywhere, and you know, really good ergonomics on this one. A reindeer antler spacer, brass bolster, half guard. And this knife, guys, is a little thicker than the Moras are. This is my thickest bushcraft knife, and I don't have the it's not very good focus, but you can tell there, I mean, it's a good bit thicker than the Moras. I think the Moras are I don't want to guess, because I'm going to be wrong. But this is the thicker of the blades, but the cutting performance is great on it. And I've seen X-rays on Virtua Vice's channel, which, by the way, he is an awesome knife reviewer, and I think that's the only other review on YouTube. There may be one or two others, but I couldn't find them. And Virtua Vice has done reviews on the Karisawando boar and the elk, which is very similar to the boar. And he didn't like the thicker handles on one of them, and he actually worked them down a little bit himself. But anyway, he x-rayed them, and the tang comes to about here. But I'm a 2-knife kind of guy. I'm not going to be batoning with this. I'll always have a larger knife when I'm in the woods, and a smaller knife. I'm a 2-knife kind of guy, so this knife is just absolutely sweet. But love my Swedish knives. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If anybody has any questions, get at me, and please sub, guys. Just end off here with a little cutting demo on this new convex edge. It is scares the paper. It's got a nice little curl there. Little curls. Look at that one. That's a decent one. Anyway, scary, scary sharp, as all my knives are. Thanks for watching, guys. Please sub. Have a great day.